Hey man, all right. So I had a look at this. Um, I saw, and I assume this is your website, that you're already covering a lot of things. So you did a pretty good job. All the collections, different kind of things. You have some free tools. You have good structure here. Yep, and you have also seasonal things. So a lot of work probably already went into SEO here on your end. But I have some ideas maybe. Just not sure how they align with your direction and your strategy, right? Because I can't really see that from your website. But I think there might be something more you might be able to explore in terms of, doing corporate retreats. I haven't found anything on that. Or founder retreats. Obviously, you would have to have partners, venues and things like that. So it might be tough to pull off on your end, but that might be something that I've seen gain a lot of popularity recently. And also this kind of idea of a hacker house, or people getting together to do something, and let's say build an MVP in a bigger company, obviously, because I think startups probably don't have that much money, and you seem to be aimed more at like the Spotify's or whatever, but basically being like, okay, is there something to explore around Spotify? Taking a team for 5 people, like a product team, and they live together in a house for a week and they build like a new prototype or something. It's just kind of the next level of like a hackathon almost, right? And I do think that those tend to be essentially within product teams at least, or like whenever I do a hackathon, out of personal experience, that is like a really good exercise, because you give something new, something exciting, and then you work with your team and you figure out problems and you do it quick, right? So that's just something I don't know if there's anything behind this, but I thought it was interesting, so I threw it down. But yeah, you'd probably have to just make sure if that aligns with your strategy. I don't know, but as far as that goes, I saw that you're doing workshops. I think you already have a page for that, but maybe what might be interesting as well is to do workshops that are one-to-many, because I think you always just have like custom workshops, right? So maybe where it's a bit cheaper price point, and then it's like more of a cohort-based thing. Although I'm not sure, because of like team building events, probably I don't know if there's seasonality to it, so that they're like centered around summer maybe, right? Because then otherwise you have a hard time filling a cohort, so that might also not be that interesting. But selling like recorded versions of your workshop, or access to a community with the workshops, just a more scalable way of doing the workshops, rather than having to do them one by one. If that's interesting, I don't know. Again, strategy, right? I don't know. And then maybe also looking into resources like templates. I think you have a lot of ideas and things like that, but like a worksheet, or I don't know. You might even go as far as like selling products that are like for team building, a certain game or something that the company can just buy whenever they need to do like a team building thing. Like I know that played this game before with like strings and some wood attached, and then you have to work with 4 people to fit it through. Obviously that, I don't know if company's going to buy that, or rent. Maybe rental is better, something like where they can rent your stuff. So these are all kind of like extra revenue streams layered on top of what you're doing right now. They're not necessarily super aligned with what your website is about now, but that might be ways to just dig a bit deeper, or uncover some personas that are not yet uncovered. But I think, like I said, you already did quite a good job, so I think it would be nitty gritty, and I think I would rather go in and see what already works well for you, and maybe double down on that based off of like how much work has already gone into it, because it's like 80-20, right? But yeah, I don't have these insights, so I don't really can really give you good recommendations here. And then maybe looking into just also other skills that a good team should have and cover those, right? So it's like you take a step back from like people that have already identified that they want to do team building, because a lot of your content is centered around team building exercises, right? Like these are like ideas for team building. This is like where you can go to do team building. This is like blah blah. But maybe something to be said around how to resolve conflicts in a team or something. So there's something where one step before, where there's something that happens where people are like, oh, I should invest in some team building because clearly there's something not like working out right, or it could be better or something like that, right? So kind of thinking one step before people actually identify it, because like that the people that have identified that they need team building, you're covered those pretty well. But then maybe there's something you can find where it's more around science that a team needs team building, or certain situations, or things like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, overall you already did a pretty good job. Let me know if any of this stuff's useful. I'll send this over to you and you can continue to play around with it. Yeah. All right, that's it. Cheers.